quick, well, kind of quick, blueberry cupcakes. I say kind of quick because I'm going to be using box mix, but I'm going to be adding in some things of my own and pre-made frosting. We're going to be making our own syrup for it, so it'll be like my little take on it. So here are the ingredients. What you're going to need is one yellow cake mix, and then you could just follow the recipe on the back, like what you're going to need. So for this one, I need 3 eggs. I'm going to need milk and oil, and you can substitute butter for the oil, but I'm just going to be using oil. And then for the blueberry topping and for the mix itself, I'm going to be using frozen blueberries. And for the topping, you're going to need the blueberries, you're going to need sugar, plain white sugar, and cornstarch to thicken it. And then frosting of your choice, I'm using this. This is from Whole Foods. I really like it. It has really clean ingredients. If you look, those are all the ingredients. And honestly, it tastes so good. Like, I made these before, and I don't know, I was like, oh, it's not gonna taste like, you know, the Pillsbury ones. But for clean ingredients, this thing is really good. You just have to remember to mix it up, but I'll show you that later. All right, so before we get started, I'm just gonna go ahead and this says to bake for 350. So I'm gonna go ahead and preheat my oven for 350, and then I'm just gonna prepare the box mix first. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that and then get back to you guys. Okay, so I went ahead and prepared the cake mix as per the instructions in the box. So now I'm gonna go ahead with my frozen blueberries. I'm gonna add about half a cup, and I'm just gonna stir them in with a spatula. I don't want to use the handheld mixer or blender because you don't want to crush the blueberries. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add that in and show you guys. Okay, so half a cup was looking a little less, so I went ahead and added 1 full cup of blueberries, but you can do it as you like. I wanted it to be about like 3 or 4 blueberries per cupcake. I'm gonna be using this cupcake tin, and I'm gonna go ahead and line it. I got these baking cups from Whole Foods. They were actually on sale. They were like about $1, and they're really nice because they're unbleached. I didn't know that cupcake liners had I don't know, bad ingredients in them, but this one, they do the job. They're kind of like or you can use parchment paper. Parchment paper is really nice, but these kind of remind me of the parchment paper. They look like this. So I'm gonna line these. Stir this in pretty well, and then I'm gonna go ahead and fill these. The box I had says it makes about 24 cupcakes, and I've done this before, but it depends on how much you fill it. Sometimes I fill it to the top and it makes just 12, but I'm gonna do about here, like half, because you gotta remember the blueberries added a little bit of volume, so when they bake they're gonna get a little bit they're gonna expand, and you don't want it to explode over the top. So I'm gonna fill it about halfway here. I'll show you guys. So I'm just gonna line this, fill them up, and get back to you. All right, and here they are. You could use an ice cream scoop to scoop these in. It makes it super easy, but I don't have one, so I use like this 1/4 measure that I had anyways to measure out the ingredients, and I used it and I scooped it in. And this is what I was talking about. Not all the way full. You want it just about there, so it has enough room to expand. And I have enough batter left over. I think this is gonna make about like 4 or 5 more, but I'm gonna put these in first. So my oven is still heating up, but when it turns 350, I'm gonna throw these in the oven. See, this says 14 to 17 minutes. I'm gonna do about 15 to 16, and then I check up on them. And then in the meantime, let's go ahead get started on making the blueberry topping for the top of the cupcakes. All right, so my oven was heated. I went ahead and I added the cupcakes. They're cooking. And here on a saucepan, I have it on high, medium, high heat. And I've added 1 full cup of the blueberries frozen. I've added 1/4 cup of the white sugar. And I added a half a cup of water. And we're gonna let this reduce down until all the blueberries are melted and it's nice and thick. And then in the separate bowl here, I made a cornstarch slurry. I used half of a tablespoon of cornstarch and 1 full tablespoon of water, and I mix that together. And when this is nice and melted and close to being done, I'm gonna go ahead and add that. For now, we're gonna let it go a little bit low and slow. And then I'll show you guys the results. Okay, so it took a while for this to reduce. It took about 10, maybe even 15 minutes. But you see now all the water's gone. And I was smushing the blueberries as I was going. I'm gonna go ahead and add this cornstarch slurry now. Also, the blueberries in the muffins the cupcakes kept the moisture kind of thick. So I've been like sticking this wooden skewer in there to check, and they're not ready yet. So I put them in for 5 more minutes. But in the meantime, I'm making my topping. So I'm just gonna add in the cornstarch slurry, and I'm basically shutting the heat now. And this will be done, and I'm gonna put it in the back for it to cool. And you see I added that cornstarch in, and you see the way it really thickened it up. It's kind of like blobby now. But that's perfect, because I'm gonna stir it into the frosting mix. You could just like scoop it up and dollop, and you know, put it in a piping bag, make it all nice, and do that to your cupcakes. But I'm gonna go ahead and empty this out into a small bowl and mix it, because if you can see, the instructions say to stir it up. I never warm it up, I just stir it up. You really do have to stir it up. You can't just take it out of the container as it is. So I'm gonna empty this in a separate bowl, scoop it up, and then I'm gonna fold this in. Not like very well mixed, just so there's like ribbons of blueberry in, but after it cools down first. So I'll do the first step. Okay, so I've mixed the frosting in a bowl, and I'm just waiting for the blueberry mixture to cool down in the fridge. But I just wanted to show you guys, I made this mousse yesterday with the leftover heavy cream from the butter chicken, and it's so easy. It's just heavy cream, a little bit of sugar, vanilla, and hot chocolate powder, and that was the mousse. And then for the bottom, I just crushed Oreos, and then I had chocolate chips, which I melted and I put on the top, and it's so good. I don't know if I'll do a recipe for it because I ran out of ingredients, but I just want to show you guys you could use the leftover ingredients to make something brand new, and it's really fun. So I'm just waiting on the blueberry sauce, and then I'm gonna go ahead. Also, I put the cupcakes out to chill on this tray, so you can see the blueberries, they're like all in the bottom. I can't wait. Actually, I've never made this recipe before. This is the first time, so I'm gonna see how it comes out. And then the rest of the cupcakes are baking in the oven. Okay, so the mixture cooled down. So I went ahead and just like folded it in. I didn't want the whole thing to turn purple. Now my cupcakes are pretty much cooled, so I'm gonna go ahead and frost them and then show you guys the end result.